Hey 7th graders, how are y'all? So today is Tuesday. Yesterday you should have watched multiplication with integers, so that was me teaching again. Today we're going to be doing division of integers. So now we're dividing. Hopefully that's not too scary. But again, wish y'all were here, but we're going to continue like normal and we're going to get this done. So dividing with integers. So our standard that we are looking at is still that 7th grade number system standard. So you're sending prior knowledge of operation, and today we're going to be able to divide all rational numbers, and your objective is you can divide integers. So let's get started. All right, so just some division rules that we need to talk about before we actually start. So division rules, they're the same as multiplication rules. So as multiplication rules. So multiplication and division works the exact same way. So the positives and negatives will be the same. So like positive and positives will always be a positive, and a positive negative will always be a negative. So it works the exact same way. So as long as you're confident in your multiplication rules, you'll be fine with division rules. Now, if the signs in the division problem are different, so different meaning a positive and then divided by a negative, so like those are different, then the solution is negative. And then the same thing if the signs in the division problem are the same, so like a negative divided by a negative, then your solution is positive. So like I said, that should kind of look the same that it did for multiplication, so hopefully that's okay, not too stressful because the rules are the same. And then we're just going to go ahead and jump in it because if the rules are the same, we shouldn't have any problem. All right, so looking at example 1, we have negative 105 divided by 5. So we have a negative divided by a positive. So if signs are different, then our answer has to be negative. You got it. So we're doing 105. And remember, what's on the bottom will go on the outside. So we'll set it up like this because we want to know how many times 5 goes into 105. So 5 can't go into 1. It can go into 10 twice. So 10 becomes 0. Bring that 5 down. And 5 goes into 5 one time. So 5 times 21 gives us positive 105. But we know our answer needs to be negative. So our answer would be negative 21. Okay? Hopefully that was good. Hopefully you're kind of remembering those division rules, because remember that the bar is negative 105 divided by 5. Okay, so remember we read that bar as divided by. All right, let's go to example number 2. So number 2, we have a positive 77 divided by a negative 11. So we have a positive divided by a negative. So we have two different signs. So if we have two different signs, our answer should be negative. So we're doing 77 on the inside and 11 on the outside. 11 can't go into 7, and it can go into 77 how many times? 7 times. So our answer is 7, but remember it needs to be a negative 7. Okay? Hopefully y'all are okay with this. We're going to do another one, but take a pause. We're going to pause for a second. So if you can email me saying Apple Jacks are amazing, you'll get 5 bonus points on your quiz. Okay? So moving on to example number 3. So Emily is baking cookies for the bake sale. She has 72 cups of sugar. So 72 cups of sugar, and each batch of cookies requires 6 cups of sugars. How many batches of cookies can Emily make? Okay, it's a word problem. We don't like it. Our mind shuts down. But we can work through them, okay? First, we need to know what we need. So we know we have 72 cups, okay? That's given. But we also know that one batch, so one batch gives us 6 cups of sugar. So 6 cups of sugar. Okay, so we're good with that. And then we have 72. So if you remember ratios, you can set this up as a ratio because we're given a ratio 1 to 6. But if you're not, we know that we have 72 total. So we want to see how many times 6 can go into 72. So 72 divided by 6. So 6 would be on the outside with 7 on the inside. And then you do your division rules. So 6 goes into 7 once. We subtract. 7 minus 6 gives us 1. Bring that 2 down. 6 goes into 12 twice. Now we have to go back and look at our integer signs. So we had a positive divided by a positive. So our answer has to be positive. Therefore, our answer is positive 12. Okay? Remember, you're watching this online at home, so you can pause it, you can rewind it, you can watch it in slow motion, whatever you need to do to hopefully get a better grasp at this. Alright, so let's move on. Alright, so kind of skipping off of division rules for a second, I want to talk about order of operations. So today we'll use the order of operations in your knowledge about integer operations. So far we have done addition, we've done multiplication, division, and subtraction with our integer rules. So we've covered them all, okay? And we want to use both of those prior knowledges and new knowledge. So we want to use integers and order of operations to solve some problems, okay? So just some things to remember about order of operations. We have parentheses. So remember, those always come first. So parentheses are first. So that's our P. Our second one is exponents. That's our E, okay? The third one is multiplication and division, okay? But something we gotta get that grasp of is that it's multiplication or division, whichever comes first, okay? So you don't always do multiplication first, you do whichever one comes first in the equation, okay? And then the same thing with addition and subtraction, that's the fourth one. So addition and subtraction, whichever one comes first, okay? So that is where we get that PEMDAS from, so hopefully that is something that is prior knowledge and you kind of remember that. So let's just try this example together. All right, so let's look at this one. I know it looks kind of scary, but it's okay. We're gonna work through it together. So before I even start it, we want to do our order of operations. So we want to start with that P for parentheses. So this is our parentheses, and that's our parentheses. So we want to do everything inside of it first, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and bring down that -2 plus 4 because that's not gonna change. And then we'll do this parentheses. So we're doing -6 plus 1. So for this, you kind of need to remember those adding integer rules. So we have different signs, so we're going to subtract. And so 6 minus 1 would be 5. And then we keep the sign with the bigger value. So -5. And then we're going to take away, and we need to do this parentheses. So we have -3 minus 5. So hopefully you kind of remember those rules, so we know that we would get -8 and 9, okay? So now, after we do the P, we go to E for exponents, but we're not given any exponents, so nothing's going to change, so I'm just going to rewrite everything again. Okay? And then after that, what comes after the E, you guys? Multiplication or division, whichever comes first. Luckily, we don't have any division in this problem. However, we have a multiplication because two numbers side by side, separated by parentheses, tells us we have to multiply. So I'm going to bring that -2 down, and we're doing 4 times -5. So we have a positive, and we're timesing a negative. So when our signs are different, we always get a negative. So what's 4 times 5? Correct, we get 20. So we're going to subtract 20, and then we minus -8. We'll just bring the rest down because nothing else is multiplying, okay? And then our last one would be addition or subtraction, whichever comes first. So the first one would be -2 minus 20. So do those rules. When you do -2 minus 20, you should get -22. And then we would bring down that minus -8. Okay? So that's where you should be right now. So we took this whole line and we evaluated and simplified it to this line. Okay? I'm going to flip the page, so if you need to pause, pause. If not, we'll keep going. So we had -22 minus -8. So we need to figure out how to do that. So do we have the same signs or different signs? So we have same signs, so we can just subtract because they are the same. So 22 minus 8 would give us 14, and then we have to keep that sign. So our answer for that would just be negative 14. So hopefully you feel okay with dividing, and then hopefully you kind of feel okay with bringing in those order of operations into the mix. Remember, we will work with this some more, especially the order of operations. We will do some of that in class. But again, if you have any questions, any concerns, email me, remind me, reach out to me. I'll be happy to help. Good luck!